Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Coffee and a Card. I've already been at the coffee, so I won't slurp it in public. I'll just move that out of the way. It's very, very early in the morning, so if it's a bit shadowy, I'm sorry. So today, I'm going to do another Valentine's card. I did one, when did I do it? The other day? Can't remember. I've blinked. And I did it in non-traditional colours. And I'm going to do the same again today. And I'm going to use this stamp set, which is quite apt for a Yorkshire girl. It's called Blooming Love. That's something we'd say in Yorkshire. If it's cold, we'd say it's blooming cold. So there we go. And the other reason that I want to do it in non-traditional colours is because you could imagine that this is just a Valentine's stamp set, but it can be used for lots and lots of other things. If you nip over to my blog afterwards, I've got a bit more of a lengthy discussion about it, and I'm going to show you how to make a lovely card. If you want to go to my Stampin' Up shop, if you type in www.scrimpingmommy.stampinup.net/, you should come across it. Failing that, just Google Scrimping Mummy and the list will come up of all the various places that you can find me. It's not difficult to find at all. Just Google it or use that link. So without further ado, I'm waffling. It's Monday morning, I'm a bit tired. So I've chosen some navy and white for today's card, and this is Night of Navy and Whisper White, and the DSP here is from the Floral Boutique DSP, and it's absolutely beautiful, and the colours in that are Night of Navy and Whisper White, so you can't not coordinate. Now the ink I'm going to use is going to be Dapper Denim. It still goes really nicely, even though it's a slightly different shade. The reason I'm using Dapper Denim is because I haven't got Night of Navy, but I have used it before and it does go and it does match really, really well. So let me give you the measurements. I'll just move that out of the way 1 second. So there's quite a few layers to this card. So in total there are 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. As I say, if you nip over to my blog after, all of these measurements, I've written them down here so I don't forget, but all of these measurements are on there, and every time I do a video I do a blog post, and I always put the link in the description box. So go on over and check it out. So our card mat to start with is cut at 8.5 by 6. We score it in the middle at 4 1/4, and that folds to make our card. And today we're gonna have it that way instead of that way. And so then my next layer, because I like to do lots of layers. I've got this one a bit muck. Oh dear. Turn it that way. Not to where I'll turn it. Yeah. Just have it that way. I've got a little bit of ink on it there, never mind. But this matte layer here is 5 3/4 down there by 4 inch. I always work in inch. And then we're going to have a layer of cardstock here, like so. And that will measure, let me get it right, 5.5 by 2 1/4. So 5.5 by 2 1/4. We're then going to layer our DSP on top, like that. Isn't that pretty? And that measures 5 1/4 by 2. Okay, then we've got this mat here, which we're going to put here like so. And that measures, what does that measure? Have I written it down? I haven't. I've not written that down. Oh, blimey. 2 3/4. I've written it down somewhere. By 3 1/4. I've mixed them up. So 2 3/4 by 3 1/4, and then our layer, what we're going to stamp on there, is 3 by 2 1/2. As I say, the measurements are all on my blog and they're accurate. So I'm going to get these laid down on the card super fast. It's quite a quick card once you've cut your pieces, and you could probably do quite a few at once. Ugh, get off. There we go. I'm just going to layer that on as straight as I can. Just bear in mind that, like I have just dirtied that card there, I've been doing all sorts this morning. I've been inking, I've been doing the coal fire, and I've washed my hands, but oh well, not to worry. So make sure your hands are nice and clean. You don't want coal dust on your card. That's a nightmare. So I'm putting down my next layer. And I'm going to put it like so. So we've just got a nice bit of a border all the way around that's quite even and nice. If you want to be really precise, get your ruler out and measure it. There's no shame in that. I just don't have time. I keep trying and trying and trying to do quicker and quicker videos, you know, so that they're not boring. But I fail every time. So now I'm sticking my DSP on the top. And again, I'm going to try and get it nicely lined up so that you've got a nice even border all the way around. And then those colours all shine through and it all looks lovely. Right, I'm going to do some stamping now. I'll leave that there. This is my stamping layer. And I'm going to stamp the heart, the large heart, out of the Blooming Love. They are photopolymer, and as you can see, I have used red as well. And I'll show you why. Because I also made a traditional one for you to show you all that I love you. So there's one all done in red, and I've used the Sending Love DSP. Okay, I've not done measurements for that, but it's a 3.5 by 3.5 inch card, and I've just layered it. Stamped in the middle, that's it. That's all I've done. So there's your traditional one, here's your non-traditional. So that's why my stamp's red. So, going to get my dapper denim. And we're going to put plenty on because there's a lot of detail on this stamp, so make sure you've got plenty of ink on so that it doesn't miss any. And I hope it stamps nicely for me because this one does have a lot of detail. I've got ink all around the edge now of that. Not to worry, it should be alright. I'm just going to try and line it up best I can without getting my head in shot. About there, I think. I'll put that down. I've got ink all over my block, so let's hope it doesn't transfer. If you don't do it right, I'll do it again. It doesn't matter. Doesn't always do it perfect first time. Let's have a look. Oh, it's done it, yay! Sometimes it's a bit of a gamble with me whether it does it right or not. Oh, I need to do my... So that's that. I'm just going to leave that to dry so don't smudge it. And then what I did was I created a lovely banner. And I used this, the banner one, and I used the word friend. So let's get those out. Get my small block and my white cardstock, which is here. Let's just move that out of the way. I don't want to smudge it. And I don't want to get blue ink on my hands and then have it all messy. So I'm just going to mount that on there. This is a longer block, which is good for the, you know, the banners and things. This is block H, if you're wondering. And I'm going to show you how I stamp this. But I have got one that I prepared earlier, Blue Peter style, because I did fussy cut it out. So I'm not going to do the fussy cutting on camera. Because, oh, I don't want to smudge, don't smudge, because that would take far too long. And, you know, my hand-eye coordination, oh, it's shocking. It is, it's terrible. So it takes me quite a while to fussy cut stuff. You know, right, so then I've got the word friend. Oops, I'm just going to line it on my grid mark, get off me, so that I can get it relatively straight. And go back in with the dapper denim. I mean, shot. This banner is really, really cute. It's gorgeous. And then you just get whichever sentiment. There are several sentiments you can use, and they all fit inside the banner. I'm choosing friend to show that you can use a stamp set for more than just Valentine's. Because sometimes you might get put off of buying a stamp set because you think, yeah, but once Valentine's Day is done, it's going to be no good to me. But, you know, you've got friend, you've got... you've got love you, but you could still use that as a birthday card for a loved one, or a thank you card, or you can not have the sentiment, but you know, you can use it at any time of year. That's what I'm trying to say. So that is what the banner finish is looking like. It's absolutely gorgeous. And here's one I made earlier. And I fussy cut it out. I just left a little tiny, you know, kind of a border all the way around, and I'm just going to put that on dimensionals whilst I make sure my other one is completely and utterly dry. Is that the right one? No, use this one. That one's got a smudger. I had a spare one in case I smudged it, and this one hasn't got any smudges on. It's perfect. So I'll use this one. Just going to use 3 dimensionals. Don't always make my cards very dimensional when I'm doing just a normal fold, because I want them to go in the post nice and flat and not have to pay extra postage. But I'm putting a bit of dimension on this one today. Right, so what I need to do now is layer up this inked image onto this. So I'm going to turn it over very carefully. Look, I'm all inky. The dark colours seem to be the ones that you feel in your mind are more messy. But we like getting inky fingers, so it's alright. See, it's just printed there, so just be careful with your darker colours. I'm going to layer that up on there like so, with a nice border. Oh, I've still dirtied that a little bit. I should have left it to dry that little bit longer maybe, but never mind. When you're making yours at home, bear it in mind. Some of the inks are super juicy and need a little bit longer drying time. I'm just going to stick that relatively sort of central, like so. Try and get it straight. That's fairly straight, not too bad. And then I've got my little banner, my little friend banner, which I'm just going to put there, and I'm just going to hide that smudge. I'm going to strategically place it to hide that smudge there. There we go. And there you've got a lovely, lovely, lovely card. I think that's really nice. I do like navy and white. I think it's a completely classy look. And there's my one in traditional colours again for you to see, and a different size. So, you know, there's loads of ways that you can get a stamp set and use it over and over again to get your money's worth, as it were. So blooming love. Give it a try. Thanks for watching. Bye.